Shevchenko fight as a group. So this isn't like a regular video that I would put out on YouTube where we might timestamp it or it would be really structured. This is literally me just live streaming myself, researching the fight between these two girls and basically trying to dig up a bet, see if there's anything worth betting on this. So you get to see like my whole process for researching a fight. So what I'm just going to do is make sure that we're live everywhere and everything's working okay. So I can see that we are live on Twitch. Cool. Let me just see about YouTube. We are live on YouTube as well. Cool. And okay, so alright, we'll get going in just a second. Just want to make sure everything's working okay. Hilt, can you see me okay, mate? Is the sound and everything alright? Let me know, mate. There might be some background noise off some packet and stuff you can hear, but let me know if you can hear me okay. Hey, what's up, Suhail? Hope you're doing good, mate. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay, and we'll get into it. Let me know, guys. Let me know. Oh, nice one, Hilts. Thanks a lot, mate. Alright, let's get into it then. So, I thought it would be a good idea to research this fight first, because it's going to be a relatively quick one to do, because they've already fought twice. So, other than like looking at their last two fights, I don't think we need to do much more than that. So, it should be a relatively quick fight to research. And it also could be quite a good one for betting, because since we've already seen 50 minutes of these two in the octagon, it should be quite easy for us to work out, you know, at the current odds whether either of these girls is going to be worth a bet. So we'll kick things off by taking a look at the odds. We can see that Grasso is the favourite at average odds of about 1.80, which is going to be minus 125 for an implied probability of 56%. And if we take a look at the odds on Shevchenko, she's going to be an average of about 2.02, which is going to be plus 102 for an implied probability of 50%. So Grasso is 31 years old, 5'5", with a 66-inch reach, and Shevchenko, 36 years old, 5'5", with a 65.5-inch reach. So we can see that both of them are about the same size, but we can see that there is a 5-year age gap in this fight. Now, 5-year age gap isn't that much of an age gap, to be fair. It doesn't give much of a statistical advantage over for Grasso being the younger fighter. However, these two fighters are at that sweet spot in their careers where an age difference of 5 years can be very meaningful. So Grasso, 31 years old, she's still in her prime. She should be making big improvements from fight to fight. Whereas Shevchenko, 36 years old, she's getting pretty old now for a flyweight. And I do apologize if there's a bit of background noise. You can hear it like crackling. That will stop shortly. Okay, so let's get into this fight then. So, like I say, I don't think we need to do too much more than looking at the last two fights from these two. Let's kick things off, I guess, with taking a look at their last fight. So the way this is going to work is I will drop the link into YouTube. There's the link for the fight, and we'll all just kind of watch it together and see if any bets pop up. What I'm also going to do is I'm just going to put a message out on the Discord and Telegram so everyone knows that we are live. 2 seconds, we'll just drop that and then we'll be good to go. So how are you guys doing, man? You okay? Alright. And then we'll just pop a Discord out. Discord message even. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, let's get into it. So, if you could sync up the first round of that fight for me, that I've just dropped into YouTube, which is Grasso and Shevchenko's last fight. Sync that up for me. And the way this is going to work is like a Joe Rogan companion, where I will drop in the time into this countdown timer here. And we'll basically watch the fight together using the timer. We'll sync up, so we're all kind of looking at the same thing. We can't obviously show the footage on YouTube because obviously the stream would get taken down for copyright. So let's get into it. So if you sync the first round up, let me see if you guys can see that. Yeah, we'll put it like here. Cool. Okay, so let's get this first round going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go, let's go. All right. So the scoring of this fight was really controversial. It ended in a draw. A lot of people had it scored for Shevchenko. I think I scored it for Shevchenko live as well. So it'll be good to watch the fight back in the cold light of day and see who actually did win. Will also be interesting to see the differences in performances from both girls between the two different fights. At the moment you can see Shevchenko is a lot faster than Grasso. Let's just refresh actually how the media scored this fight. They gave, the judges gave Grasso a bogus 10-8 round, right? So media scores are pretty split actually. So nice double leg takedown entry there from Valentina. At the moment she's kind of just chipping away at Grasso on the feet. She's the faster out of the two. You can see Grasso hasn't found her range yet. She's not doing a particularly good job of dealing with the speed of Shevchenko. It's quite surprising how low Grasso's volume is in this round. At the moment, Shevchenko's kind of cruising here. Shevchenko's not doing much either, but she is just about outpointing Grasso, although Grasso landed a nice right hand there. Takedown from Shevchenko straight into half guard. When I watched the fight live, I remember we live bet Shevchenko as well. So we end up getting a refund off the draw. But I remember being pretty pissed off with the decision and thinking Shevchenko won the fight 3 rounds to 2 pretty clear. So she's mounted Grasso here. So she got overly aggressive on that back take. Grasso was able to pivot out of it. So cool being able to research a fight where the two fighters have spent so much time in the octagon together, because it tells you exactly everything you need to know about betting the fight this weekend. You know, for people that take an hour out their day to watch their last 2 fights, you know, there's really no need to try and predict anything really. I mean, these fights should tell us exactly what we need to know. So a very good first round for Shevchenko. So skip ahead and sync up the start of round 2 for me, which starts at 9 minutes and 58 seconds. That's 9 minutes and 58 seconds. 9 minutes 58. 9 minutes 58. Alright. Let's get this going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Grasso much busier at the start of this round. Shevchenko looking for that takedown again after she held Grasso down so easily at the end of round 1. Doesn't get it. What I'm really looking at when I'm researching this fight is also what adjustments both girls could make. Where at 36 we know Valentina's unlikely to be getting any better. Grasso should be getting better at 31, so we're looking at what improvements Grasso could potentially make quite easily, which would make this a better or easier fight for her. Big knockdown from Grasso. Shevchenko looking for the outside trip. Grasso's come out way more aggressive in this round. Beautiful double leg entry though from Shevchenko. Beautiful takedown. So there's 3 minutes left to go in this round. We want to see Grasso show a bit of urgency to try and work back up to her feet here. Because outside of that knockdown, she has struggled in this matchup where she was outstruck and outgrappled in round 1. She's been taken down easily here. Can she work her way back up to her feet quickly here? At the moment, she's kind of just holding on to Shevchenko from this closed guard position. You can see her looking over to her corner for some advice. They don't really seem to be helping her. Grasso looking a little confused here. So Grasso looking very weak off her back, just kind of accepting being here in this closed guard position. It's not really what you want to see from Grasso. Very, very weak off her back. I mean, Shevchenko's kind of letting her up here, which is bad fight IQ from Shevchenko. Grasso just looking very weak off her back. Like, if it wasn't for that flash knockdown at the beginning of round 2, Grasso would be getting dominated here. You know, she was mounted at the end of round 1, outstruck in round 1. She's been held down easily here. Like, even here when Shevchenko's letting her back up to her feet, she's not taking the invitation. She's just kind of lying on her back. Like, it is weird though, Valentina's not doing a whole lot from top position. Like, Grasso's active off the bottom, but obviously it's very difficult to win rounds off your back. But Grasso not looking very good outside of that knockdown. So the knockdown, you know, does give Grasso round 2. So it's pretty clearly 1 round apiece at this point, in my opinion. It's pretty clearly one round apiece. Be interesting to see what happens in rounds 3, 4, and 5 to make the scoring so complicated. But from what I've seen in rounds 1 and 2, Shevchenko's been able to take Grasso down easily and control her in both rounds. So she does come into this fight, you know, with a grappling heavy game plan, and Grasso hasn't improved that ability to work back up to her feet. This could be a pretty easy fight for Shevchenko. So if we sync up round 3 now, which starts at 16 minutes and 7 seconds. That's 16 minutes and 7 seconds. 16 minutes, 7 seconds. Hey, what's up, young Panaldo, mate? What's up, mate? Ortega, Shevchenko, and O'Malley parlay, man. I don't personally see the point in parlaying those 3 fighters. I think if you want to bet those 3 fighters, you'd be better off betting them individually. By putting them all in a parlay, I think you induce a lot of risk, man. Like, if you think about it, right, it's not going to be easy to correctly predict the outcome of those 3 fights. You know, they're all fights that could go either way, that could be competitive. And if you put Ortega, Shevchenko, and O'Malley into a parlay, right, and one of them loses, then you lose your whole bet. But if you win 2 out of those, or if you place those bets individually and you won 2 out of those 3 bets, like say Ortega and Shevchenko won, or O'Malley and Shevchenko won, you'd still make an overall profit. So when you've got 3 bets that you want to place like that, I don't see the point in parlaying them personally. I don't think there's really many benefits to that. Hey, what's up, Jeff? Hope you're doing good, mate. Hope you're doing good. I suppose they may. Yeah, Jeff is saying that if Shevchenko wins the 3rd fight, then he would set up a trilogy. Because obviously you've got, well, not a trilogy, it'd be a quadrilogy, right? A quadrilogy. Because Grasso won the 1st fight, 2nd fight was a draw. If Shevchenko takes the 3rd, I suppose they get to do it again. The UFC probably will as well, right? Hey, what's up, Josh? Hope you're doing good, mate. Hey, what's up, Shackle? Hope you're doing good, man. Alright, let's get into this 3rd round. let's get into the third round. So let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, it is a... I don't remember much about this fight. I think one of the problems with fights like this not usually starting in the UK until like 5 a.m. is there's such a campaign to get through these events that by the time they're done, you know, by the time that you get to watch these fighters again, what was this fight like a year ago? You forget a lot of what happened, which is why fight research is so important. It just refreshes your memory, gives you a lot more clarity on what the actual reality of a situation was. But, you know, we've watched the first 2 rounds now, and I'm quite surprised at how easy of a fight it has been for Shevchenko. Obviously, she was knocked down at the beginning of round 2, but outside of that, she's out-grappled and outstruck Grasso pretty comfortably. Like I say, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this 3rd, 4th and 5th round to complicate the scoring so much, because at the moment it's quite clearly 1 round apiece, but it's only 1 round apiece because of a flash knockdown, not because like Grasso outperformed Shevchenko in any way. What I am seeing though is a massive difference in power, which is really, really interesting, because Shevchenko kind of built her career off, you know, big highlight reel knockouts and being much more powerful, much more athletic, much more physically imposing than the majority of girls in the division. My God, Alexa. I was about to say nice takedown entry from Shevchenko, but Grasso's doing a really good job of getting underhooks in play there to step the takedown. And I hope you're watching this, because there's a lot that's happening. Grasso is showing us some things on the ground. She's showing us some things on the ground. So she showed far more urgency to work back up to her feet there than she did in rounds 1 and 2. Interesting. Very interesting. So she's mounted again now for the 2nd time in the fight. She was mounted at the end of round 1 as well. I was just saying there's a big difference in power. Grasso's definitely the more powerful out of the 2. When they're exchanging and Valentina lands on Grasso, she doesn't seem to be able to hurt Grasso. But when Grasso lands on Valentina, you can see she is hurting Valentina. She's backing Valentina up a lot. Like when they exchange jabs, Grasso is standing her ground when Valentina lands. But when Grasso lands, Valentina is like, she's getting backed up. So Grasso's way more active off her back in this, you know, in this round, looking a lot more difficult to control. Valentina's done a really good job of getting to the body triangle here. So what is interesting is outside of round 1, we are seeing a bit of an advantage on the feet emerging for Grasso, but her takedown offense and ground game is getting her into a lot of trouble. Grasso's been able, or Shevchenko's been able to out-grapple her in every round so far. And like I say, outside of that 1 knockdown, Shevchenko's been in total control. Very, very interesting fight. So Grasso trying to turn into Shevchenko to escape the position. She just waits a very long time. She waits a very, very long time. So there's about a minute left to go in the round, and very, very comfortable fight for Shevchenko. Grasso has like shown us a little bit of good stuff in this round, but just not enough for it to make a difference. Like, she did a good job of getting underhooks in play early on Valentina's initial takedown entry, but not enough to stuff the takedown entry. Then when she was on her back, she did a good job of getting to her knees quickly and popping back up, but not quick enough, so she ended up getting her back taken. And then here, she's eventually turned into Valentina to defend the back take, but again, not with enough urgency, so she ends up getting controlled for pretty much the entire round. So sync up the start of round 4 for me now. So obviously scorecards were very split on this fight. It was about 50-50. At the moment, this is a very easy fight to score. So I don't know if things get a bit crazy in rounds 4 and 5, but at the moment, this is 2 rounds to 1 for Shevchenko, clear as day. Like, no debate. There's no way you could score this any other way other than 2 rounds to 1 for Shevchenko. She outstruck Grasso in round 1, ended the round 1 in top position and in mount. Round 2, obviously Shevchenko got dropped. Round 2, Grasso clear. Round 3, Shevchenko clear. She controlled Grasso for a big chunk of that round. So let's get into round 4 now. Starting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's get it going. So I'm interested to see what happens in rounds 4 and 5 to complicate how people scored this fight so much. Like, rounds 4 and 5 must be kind of crazy for people to, or for the majority of MMA media to score the fight for Grasso. A lot of people must think that Grasso won the next 2 rounds. So things we've learned, which I didn't really think about before this research session. Grasso has the power advantage, and I wouldn't have thought that before the session, because, like I say, Shevchenko's built this reputation for being a big hitter, all these highlight reel knockouts, but she can't match the power of Grasso here. And when the camera pans around, you can see that Grasso's the bigger girl for sure. Valentina's smaller than Grasso. There's no doubt about that. Which is a bit surprising, because obviously Shevchenko started a UFC career as a bantamweight. But in terms of the impactfulness of shots and damage, it's all Grasso. So in a stand-up fight, I would favour Grasso. But Grasso's takedown defence and ground game is a joke, based on this performance. Some nice takedown entry from Shevchenko. That time Grasso saw it coming from a mile away and sprawled out of it. Are these illegal strikes? They look a bit illegal to me, ref. Ref, yeah, you can see Valentina looking at Herb Dean like, what the fuck? What the fuck, Herb? You just let this bitch knee me in the head about 14 times. What the fuck, Herb? Those look like illegal knees to me. You can see why Valentina wouldn't be happy. So you know what? Grasso's takedown defense and ground game looks really bad in this fight. But I'm interested to see if there's improvement between her takedown defense and ground game in this fight compared to the other fight they had. Okay, so Grasso's got overly aggressive on a back take here and has been, or ended up on the bottom. Now let's see what happens here, because this is a very close round. Okay, Grasso does a good job of using the cage to stand back up. 2 minutes left to go in the round. Interested to see what happens here. Who wins this round? So far, Grasso is winning the round. Although, to be fair, those illegal knees had a bit to do with it. But hey, if the ref doesn't intervene, I guess you got to count them as strikes landed, right? Whether you agree with it or not. So, minute and 30 left to go, though. This is a close round. It's the most difficult round of the fight to score. Ooh, nice right hand from Alexa. I mean, Alexa's been cut in this round. Why am I pointing to my... Oh, yeah, it is her left eye. She's been cut on her left eye. But she's landing the harder, more impactful shots in this round, doing more damage. Valentina just doesn't seem to be able to hurt Grasso. That Mexican toughness is just too much for Valentina. Like you can see, Grasso has really got Valentina's number on the feet. Which surprises me. "40 seconds left to go. It's a close round, this. Takedown entry from Valentina. Looking for the outside trip. She gets it. Wow, Grasso's takedown defense is so bad, man. So bad. And she stands up quickly. It's a very tricky round to score, this. It's a very, very tricky round to score. Because Alexa is wearing more visible damage in this round off the cut to her left eye. It's tricky. Yeah, so that round could go either way. I can start to see where scoring gets a bit complicated here. So round 4, very, very complicated how you score that. It could go either way. Sync up round 5 for me. Round 5 starting 28 minutes 35 seconds. I actually lean towards Grasso in round 4. Even though she was wearing more visible damage with the cut to her eye, I think she did outstrike Valentina in that round. She landed the cleaner, harder strikes, probably a higher volume strikes as well. Let's just fact check that on UFC stats. Let us fact check the striking stats. It felt like Alexa landed more strikes in round 4, but I could be wrong, which is why I want to check. Bloody close. Bloody close. So she did outstrike Valentina, but only by 1 strike. I think it probably felt that she outstruck her by a wider margin because she threw more. But, oh, actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's just significant strikes. So actually, total strikes were 38. And she threw 69 total strikes. So yeah, she did outstrike her by not a huge margin, by about 15%, I guess. Something like that. 20%, something like that. Nothing major. Alright. So yeah, Hilt has got it 2 rounds apiece as well. So let's take a look at this 5th round. Let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So from memory, Valentina gets destroyed in this round, right? I think. Interesting. Look at the live odds. Shevchenko 1.50 minus 200 favourite in live betting, which would indicate that the bookies thought Shevchenko won round 4. This is all very complicated, man. I feel like this fight is very easy to score-ish, apart from round 4. And you can see the media scores in the bottom left. Most people have got it 2 rounds 2 at this point, which I do. Hiltz does. Guys, what are you feeling about this fight as well? Do you guys care about this fight? This fight seems a bit dead. Not too many people seem interested in this one. Let me know how you feel about this one. I like it because I think it's likely to be competitive, so it should be great for live betting. The more competitive a fight is, the better it's going to be for live betting, which is obviously our bread and butter. But how do you feel about it? I'm just excited because with how close and competitive this is, that's the exact type of fight you can snipe a nice live bet on. And now Shevchenko's doing good work here with the jab. She's busted the left eye of Grasso up pretty good. And Grasso struggling in this round. Shevchenko's outstriking her by a good margin. The judges gave Grasso a 10-8 in this round, right? There's Baldy Head Sal Diamato sat in the background. It actually looks like he's looking at the action as well, so Sal one of the ones that gave a 10-8. So halfway through this round, Shevchenko's winning. Quite clear. She's done a good job of further damaging that left eye of Grasso. She's doing great work with the jab. Single leg entry from Grasso, very nice, gets nowhere near it. Do you know what? If it hadn't have been for that knockdown in round 2, this would probably be a really easy win for Valentina. So 1:45 left to go. And this is a pretty clear Valentina round. Inside trip, doesn't get it. Minute and 10 left to go. Shevchenko almost did a really good job of reversing in the top position there. Well, this isn't a 10-8 round at this point, so unless Grasso does something absolutely huge in the next 20 seconds... Wow, did they really give a 10-8? Did they really give Grasso a 10-8 for this? You gotta be kidding me. Did they really give Grasso a 10-8 for that? Wow. You gotta be kidding me. No way. Mike Bell. Fucking hell, Mike. Raz. 10-8 for that? Really, Mike? Does this guy give out a lot of 10-8s? 10-8 for that. Guys, you watching the same shit as me, right? Did anyone give a 10-8 for that? Fucking nothing happened. Do you know what? He'd better be really liberal with the 10-8s. If we had more time, I would like to go through all his scores to see how frequently he gives out 10-8s in situations where there's a debate for it. Because giving out a 10-8 there is mad. That's bad. That is a bad one. Do you know what? I think because I live bet Shevchenko in that fight, like, you know when you live bet in a fight, or you know when you've got a bet on the over, and like if you've bet on the over and one of the fighters gets in trouble and they're like are close to being finished, you like start sweating it and hope they can like hold on so you over cashes. It's the same in live betting, right? If you live bet a fighter and then they start to struggle, you're like, oh my god, please just survive, survive, survive. So when you're live betting the fight, it can make your brain can make you think that the fighter is in more danger than they actually are. So when I'm seeing Shevchenko like fending off those rear naked choke attempts, I'm like, oh my god, please just hang in there, please just hang in there. But then when you watch the fight back in the cold light of day, you realise that she wasn't actually in that much trouble. So when the fight was over, because of how bad I was sweating my Shevchenko bet, I didn't really think too much about the 10-8. I knew it was at like a strict 10-8, like a crazy 10-8. But in my head, I thought Shevchenko was in a lot of trouble because I was sweating my bet. But watching it back in the cold light of day, that's bullshit, man. Barely anything happened. Shevchenko was outstriking Grasso for the first 3.5 minutes of the round. Like, when you look at how much damage Shevchenko inflicted to Grasso's left eye just in the 5th round alone, that should negate the possibility of a 10-8 in that round, unless obviously Grasso knocked Shevchenko down, almost knocked her out, inflicted significant damage or something, but that's mad. Anyway, personally, I score that fight 3-2 for Grasso. But I will say this. The 4th round was very difficult to score. It could go either way. The 4th round is like a coin flip round. So round 1, Shevchenko clear. Round 2, Grasso clear. Round 3, Shevchenko clear. Round 4, 50-50. Round 5, Grasso clear. So rounds 2, 3, rounds 1, 2, 3, and 5 very clear. Round 4, you can make a case for either girl winning round 4. I lean more towards Grasso, but round 4 was the round where Shevchenko cut Grasso's eye and inflicted a decent amount of damage. So if you wanted to go round 4 Grasso, you can't really have an argument with that. But yeah, 10-8 is mad. That's mad. So I'm just going to catch up on the comments, and then what we'll do is we'll watch their other fight, their first fight. So I will drop into the chat the fight so you can all sync it up, and then I'll catch up with the chat then. Boys, that's a bad one. 10-8 round 5. Yo. Look, I'm not mad at it because at the end of the day I live bet Shevchenko and the draw kind of saved me because I ended up getting a refund. So I'm not mad at it. But I definitely got a bit lucky because I think Grasso should have won that fight. So I'm just going to catch up on the chat. Hey, what's up, Soren? Hope you're doing good, mate. What's up? I'm just Drew. Hope you're doing good, man. I'm not sure if he's reffing the upcoming one, Austin, mate. Alright. What I will say this, so after just watching that fight, the way I'm feeling is that this is a very easy fight for Valentina. Like, it is a very easy fight for her because we've literally just seen in that fight that basically Valentina made 2 mistakes in the entire fight and it cost her. She got knocked down in round 2 and then she lost a scramble and had her back taken in round 5. Outside of that, Shevchenko was pretty much in control for the entire duration of the matchup. And so if Shevchenko comes in this weekend with a grappling heavy game plan, she should win easily. The problem is Grasso is making like very rookie mistakes. Like really rookie mistakes. Like rookie ass, basic ass mistakes that she shouldn't be making at this stage in her career. Like, she's giving up takedown. Like, what's really frustrating about a fighter like Alexa Grasso is within that fight, she's shown us that she knows how to work out of bad positions. So, for example, she was taken down a couple times in that fight where she would just kind of lie on her back, go to close guard, and just accept being on her back for several minutes, which enabled Valentina to run the clock down and win rounds decisively. But then at other stages in that fight, when she was taken down, she would quickly get to her knees and scramble back up to her feet. So she's shown us that she's got the ability to do it. She's just waited far too long to do it at certain times. And then also, you know, when Shevchenko had her back, she showed that she knew how to turn into the back take to pivot into top position. But again, she just took an absolute eternity to do it, to the point where Shevchenko was able to run the clock down and put decisive rounds in the bank. So the thing about... Oh shit, Alexa's first name's actually Karen. Who would have thought it? Karen Grasso. Hey Karen. Anyway, I never knew that. Hey Karen, what's up? Do you think her name's actually Karen? And then she was like, there's no way I'm going to be a world famous UFC fighter if my first name's Karen. There's no way Baldy Head Dana is going to fucking promote me if my name's Karen. I need something way more exotic than that. So she just ran with her middle name Alexa instead. I think that's what's going on. Karen Montez doesn't quite have the same ring to it as Alexa Grasso. Anyway, we know how Baldy Head Dana's head works. So the thing about that performance from Alexa is, if she just made like a few changes, not necessarily even improvements, because she's already got the technical ability, if she just thinks a bit quicker, this becomes a really difficult fight for Valentina, because outside of the first round and the fifth round, Grasso outstruck Shevchenko pretty clear. But I think she lost the first round on the feet because it took her a little bit of time to find her range. And then once she warmed up, she looked great. And I think she got outstruck in round 5 because I think Grasso thought that she needed to have a big 5th round. And so two things happened. She started headhunting to look for that big shot again, and she landed in round 2, and she started looking for opportunities to take Shevchenko down. So like her volume dipped in round 5, and that's why Shevchenko was able to outstrike her with the jab. But if Grasso just thinks a bit faster on the ground, just shows a bit more urgency to get back up, a bit more urgency to pivot into top position if Valentina gets to her back, and Grasso should win this pretty comfortably, because she quite clearly had the advantage on the feet, and she's younger, and she's got the size advantage, and she's Mexican as fuck, and there's going to be mariachi bands, there's going to be what are they called? Luchadors? Is it luchadors? The wrestlers? It's going to be Mexican as fuck in there on Saturday night. Do you know what I mean? The UFC, was Baldy Head Dana paid 20 million on production for this event? They made the special Mexican belt, all that shit. You know, there's never going to be a UFC fight night Kyrgyzstan. You know what I'm saying? Never going to be a UFC fight night Frunz. Right? So it's not going to be easy for Shevchenko to win a decision this weekend. Dana wants Alexa to win. All the fans in the arena want Alexa to win. You know what I mean? And as long as Mike Bell's not judging the fight, fucking judges probably want Alexa to win as well. You know? No, Sebastian, I got lucky. I said I got lucky with the draw because I scored round 2 for Alexa and then rounds 4 and 5 for Alexa. So if the judges would have scored it the same as me, Shevchenko would have lost the fight 3 rounds to 2. That's why I said I got lucky, because the draw gave me a refund on the bet. But if the fight would have been scored how I scored it, Alexa would have got the win. Yeah, it's possible, Jeff. It's possible, man. Alright, let's get into this other fight then. So sync it up. So it starts at 2 minutes 48 seconds. You know what I'm getting vibes of here, boys? Do you know what I'm getting vibes of? And this is happening a lot. This is happening a lot. This is happening a lot. I'm going to say this. It won't make much sense, but I'm going to say it anyway, right? Jake. Jake. Mate, I'll show you now. There she is, mate. Star of the show. Where's my hand? I can't even point, man. She's there.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
She's there, mate. The star of the show, Kiko. She's having a little snooze. Hopefully she stays asleep, because if she wakes up, this stream's about to get a lot more difficult for me. She's an absolute savage. Like, when she wants attention, she doesn't take no for an answer. She'll be trying to bite me, jump up on me, all kinds of stuff, man. So, let's get into this next one. Before we watch this next fight, though, this is giving me Adesanya versus Duplessis vibes, for sure. Like, you know, when we researched the Adesanya versus Duplessis fight, and we were saying, look, Duplessis is so low level that this, if Izzy shows up, this could be the easiest fight of Izzy's career, right? Like, the skill gap between the two is so big. This could literally be the easiest fight of Izzy's career if he shows up and performs his full potential. We were all saying that in that stream. But then we also said something just doesn't feel right. And it wouldn't be a big surprise if Duplessis just found a way to win. He's one of those guys that finds a way to win. I'm getting like similar vibes from this. Like I look at that last fight and I'm like, damn, if Shevchenko just comes out and grapples hard, so long as Shevchenko hasn't improved a lot, this could be one of the easiest fights of Shevchenko's career. But again, something doesn't feel right. Do you know what I'm saying? Just something doesn't feel right. It's these dominant champions that lose their belt. For some reason, like mentally, it just almost feels like they find ways to lose. Like once they lose that belt, they never get it back. You think about it, right? Izzy is 10 times the fighter Duplessis will ever be from a technical point of view, but Duplessis found a way to win. Same could be said about Kamaru Usman, right? Look at what Belal Muhammad did to Leon Edwards. Belal absolutely dominated Edwards with grappling. Are you telling me that Usman couldn't have done that easily if he wanted to? Yet Usman lost to Leon twice. And I feel we're kind of seeing the same thing with Valentina here, where this is actually an easy fight for her because of how bad Grasso is on the ground. But it just feels like it's a bit weird, man. It just feels like Grasso said it herself, right? I think Grasso did an interview last week, and the interviewer asked Grasso, I'm not sure who the interviewer was, or I would obviously reference them. I'm not being a dick by not saying the name. I don't know who it was. But some interviewer asked Grasso, what is Valentina's biggest weakness? And Grasso said, me. It's hard to argue, right? Because Valentina is better than Grasso, right? We're seeing that in these fights, but the result on paper says otherwise at the end of the day. Similar to Duplessis and Izzy, right? Izzy was cruising, but the result on paper says otherwise. Mad. Yeah, Austin, exactly, man. And I think Grasso might have the same thing, you know? She might just have that thing, you know? And like you say, like maybe Valentina's time has passed. It's a weird thing. It is a very, very weird thing. Alright, let's get this next fight going. So let's kick it off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, what's really cool about a fight like this is usually we have to watch tons of fights to try and kind of figure out what's going on, but since they've already fought twice, this will be a nice quick one. After this, there's not really much more we can watch that will tell us what we haven't already seen. So what I am interested to see here is Grasso's improvement from this fight to the one that we just watched. Her grappling looks so bad though, man. And when you get situations like this, I literally just want to be like, Valentina, just grapple. Just literally just come out, grapple relentlessly. Should be an easy night's work for you. But then I also want to say to Alexa, just show a bit more urgency. Like, as soon as you get put in a bad position on the ground, you know what to do. Just try immediately just to work hard to escape. And if you do, then this is a great fight for you. I do also question how much the knockdown in round 2 might have changed the course of that fight. Like, would Valentina have been way more dominant if she hadn't got knocked down? Like, did that knockdown throw her off or give her a sense of urgency, or was she hurt? Like, did it take her a bit of time to recover? So Shevchenko's best weapon in the last fight we watched was her jab, and you can see her go into the jab in this first round. I will say this, one thing I've noticed just here and then the last fight we watched, Valentina finds her range against Grasso almost immediately, whereas Grasso struggled in the first round of their last fight, and she's struggling in this one as well. Like, you can see Grasso's really struggling to land anything. Valentina, again, just like in the last fight in the first round, she's cruising here. It's a nice combination from Grasso, though. Will be interesting to see if this fight follows the same timeline, where Grasso has a lot more success with her boxing from round 2. But it's a great round for Shevchenko. Both girls do look the same though. How long was there between both fights? 6 months. So interesting. So there was 6 months between these two fights, but then we're a year on from this their most recent one. Interesting. So the significant strike stats just popped up on screen. It says Grasso's outstriking Valentina, but that's not what I'm seeing. For me, this is a pretty clear Valentina round. Most of the stuff Grasso's been throwing has missed. but I think they're counting missed strikes as strikes landed. Like, Grasso's had a good end of the round for sure. Like, maybe you could make a case that Grasso stole that round, but right up until like 30 seconds left to go in the round, Shevchenko is winning that round pretty clear. So let's get into round 2 now, which starts at 9 minutes and 1 second. 9 minutes and 1 second. 9 minutes and 1 second. Joey is saying it has to be a pass. Like you said, champs almost never re-win their title back, but Valentina is the more skilled fighter. Don't want to make the same mistake twice after betting Izzy. And Austin said this fight, Torres fight, T-City fights, I'm struggling with. Do you think Ribovic, Cherez and even O'Day alive? So, I haven't researched Zellhuber versus Ribovic yet. I haven't researched Cherez versus Van yet, but Van is one of the names jumping out at me as a really good potential bet, so I'm going to go research Cherez versus Van after this stream. I did research O'Day Osborne versus Ronaldo Rodriguez earlier on, and Rodriguez is a very, very tempting bet. So I'm very tempted to bet Rodriguez. I'm probably not going to bet him. But if you want to bet Osborne versus Rodriguez, I would definitely take Rodriguez. The only thing stopping me from pulling the trigger on Rodriguez is that Osborne has an absolutely massive reach advantage. So you can see he's got a 73-inch reach. Rodriguez only got a 65-inch reach. So both guys are primarily strikers, which means Osborne has got an 8-inch reach advantage. And statistically, I think an 8-inch reach advantage gives Osborne about a 70% chance of winning. So I just don't like to bet against strong trends like that. But stylistically, it is a pretty good fight for Rodriguez. Like, if you take the reach disadvantage out of it, I think Rodriguez is better than Osborne everywhere. Better cardio, better grappling, better striking as well. But obviously the 8-inch reach disadvantage complicates things because Rodriguez may struggle to deal with that. But yeah, Rodriguez would be the guy that I would want to have my money on if I were going to bet that fight. And if both guys had the same reach, I would bet Rodriguez. I would already have bet him this morning. So yeah, man, I hope that helps. So yeah, I haven't done the other ones yet, man. What I want to prioritize tonight, I think Josh Van and Yasmin Yaragui could be a pretty good parlay. But I haven't researched either fight. I'm going to do that tonight once I'm off stream. And then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll do a live stream for Dvalishvili versus O'Malley if you guys want. Unfortunately, I can't bet Dvalishvili because of the potential staph infection. So I just don't mess with things like that, man. If even whether he has got a staph infection, whether he doesn't, it's irrelevant to me. If there's like a hint that he might have, I'm just not interested. I just don't mess with this. So O'Malley's the only guy I'm really interested in this fight. But we'll have to see how it goes. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah, I'm not too sure about Raul Rosas, Joey, only because in my head I don't have a very good memory on Arichi Leng's takedown offense and ground game. Like, he beat Johnny Munoz, who is a pretty good grappler. So I would want to take a look at this, but then he lost to Cody Durden, so I'll need to research this one because Raul Rosas is a massive favourite, right? Yeah, he's a massive favourite, man. To be fair, Yaragui's odds are starting to decline as well. When I woke up this morning... Oh, maybe they haven't, actually. I thought they were down more than that. Not too bad. Yeah, I'll need to get to Yaragui, though, because I think She could be free money. From memory, Caitlin Sowers is pretty low level, but I can't remember. And I do think Yaragui is potential. Well, I think she will be a future champion. I think she's already top 5. In actual fact, I'll just say it. I think she'd beat almost everyone in the top 10 at strawweight. I think she might even be the best strawweight in the world. I said it. I think she's amazing. Although word on the street is, have you heard the rumours about Yaragui? I don't know if I should say them online. Could get me into trouble. But there are rumours about Yaragui. You know Strickland was talking about Tiki? Is it Tiki Dawson? The MMA manager? Look into it, man. Yaragui and Tiki. You know what I mean? Allegedly, Strickland saying some stuff. Alright, let's get back into this. So round 2. Let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, round 1's actually a tricky round to score, because Valentina was cruising, but then Grasso did finish round 1 very strong, and you can see there's damage to the nose of Valentina. So I probably do give round 1 to Grasso. Ooh, beautiful double leg entry there from Valentina. Grasso doing a good job of creating space for herself off her back though, and she's got a butterfly hook on the right side. Now what you want to see her do is use this space that she's creating on the right side to scramble back up to her feet, or to scramble over to the cage where she can wall walk, but she just hesitates. Don't tell me she's going to go back to guard. She does. Like a dagger to the heart. Alexa, you're killing me, man. You're killing me. I would love to bet you, Alexa. Karen, I would love to bet you, Karen. Karen Grasso. I would love to bet you, but you are making it hard. You're making it hard, Karen. Do you know what she needs to do? She needs to channel her inner Karen. Maybe she's got like split personalities. Maybe Alexa is like the sweet, softly spoken Alexa we see in interviews, that just gives up cheap takedowns and just allows her opponent to lie on top of her. She needs to channel her inner Karen, and she needs to hulk out and show a bit more urgency to get back up. Because she's so weak off her back. It's frustrating. She's trying to bridge and turn into Valentina, and is doing a pretty good job of it, to be fair. Valentina's staying heavy and tight from top position, but Alexa likely wouldn't even have been in this position had she used her active guard when she first got taken down. To just use that little bit of space to scramble over to the cage and wall walk. But she hesitated, and now she's in a much more difficult position, with Valentina giving her no space. Grasso does get to her knees. Back up. Very nice. Do you know what I mean though? I feel like Grasso could have done that almost as soon as she got taken down. Like, what is she waiting for? You know? What is she waiting for? Why does she take so long to work back up to her feet? Guys, could this be like a Weili Zhang, Joanna Jędrzejczyk type situation? What do you think? Remember the first Zhang versus Joanna fight, where Joanna had been a dominant champion for a while, but in their first fight, it was like razor close. I actually scored that fight for Joanna. It was like a split decision, razor close decision. And then in the rematch, Zhang just absolutely destroyed her. It was so one-sided. Are we seeing history repeat? They say history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. This is kind of similar, right? This is kind of similar. Their last fight was razor close. Is Grasso going to make this rematch? Third rematch. Second rematch. Third fight. Second rematch. Is she going to make the second rematch look easy? So beautiful takedown entry from Valentina there into an outside trip. The crazy thing about Grasso is she does do a good job of getting underhooks in play early, but she can't clear her legs. She's like wide open to trips and throws. So this is 1 round apiece for me. I'm not going to say super clear because round 1 was close and competitive, but Valentina definitely takes round 2. And I go round 1 Grasso just because she damaged the nose of Valentina. And not a lot else happened. But Grasso's takedown offense and ground game is a big issue. So sync up round 3. So round 3 starts in 15 minutes. And 17 seconds. Hey, P. Brown, to be honest, mate, I don't think they will affect Yaragui at all. Only because, didn't it happen when she was like a long time ago? I could be wrong. Basically, someone was, I think Google in the Discord was filling me in on what happened. Didn't it happen when she was 16? Or am I confusing that with a different fighter? He's alleged to have got a fighter pregnant when she was 16, right? But was that Yaragui or was that a different fighter? Because if it was Yaragui, she's like 22 now. So I reckon she would have moved on. Like, it probably, at the time, it probably would have been so traumatic for her that people talking about it online, I don't think it would have like a huge impact. Plus, I don't think she speaks English, which helps. Do you know what I'm saying? She probably ain't going to really care about what people are saying on Twitter if she can't read it and understand it. That might be a very racist thing for me to say, and I do apologise. She might speak better English than me. But from memory, I don't think Yaragui speaks English. So unless a bunch of people are talking about it in Mexico, which they might be, but then I don't know enough about social media in Mexico to know either way. Fill me in on the actual details of the situation, man. Am I wrong? Is the 16-year-old someone else the Strickland was talking about, or was it Yaragui? How old's Yaragui now? I'm sure she's 22. Oh, she's 25. Fuck me. So it'd be like 9 years ago if it was her. But I don't know. I haven't really looked into it firsthand. I'm just going off what the guys were saying in Discord. And it's all allegedly. Alright, let's get into round 3. Let's get it going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So this fight's 1 round apiece at the moment. But Alexa Grasso's ground game is a big issue. Very, very big. I mean, we saw that in the rematch, but this one, I mean, it's an issue again. What are the odds on the over? They're going to be terrible, aren't they? They're going to be super steep, you would imagine. But it's just worth looking. Because obviously the over should be pretty close to free money, and maybe you can parlay that with someone like Yaragui. Let's have a look. No, not the best odds. Terrible. Too steep for me to mess with that. Way too steep. So what's interesting here is we're seeing Grasso land cleaner, harder shots in this round, starting to outstrike Valentina. And we saw the same sort of pattern happen in their first fight, where Grasso started very slow, but when she found her range, she started to outstrike Valentina pretty comfortably. So that's what I have learned about these two, which I didn't know coming in. I didn't realise that Grasso had such a big advantage on the feet. I thought they were quite even, but Grasso's definitely got the advantage when it comes to striking. Outside of 3 minutes in round 5 of the rematch, when I think Grasso was just trying to set up a takedown anyway, she's outstruck Valentina pretty easily. But look at how bad her takedown defense is, man. So 2 minutes 40 seconds left to go. Karen has been taken down easily here, and she needs to show a bit of urgency to get back up. Surely she doesn't spend the rest of this round on her back. What were the odds on the rematch? Because after watching this, you'd think Shevchenko would be a pretty big favourite. So she was a 1.40 minus 250 favourite. Interesting. So Grasso's been on her back for about a minute now. Oh man, this is why MMA betting is like tricky. Because anyone with eyeballs and a brain after watching this would just go back Valentina this weekend. Oh, the ref stands him up. Oh my god, the ref absolutely fucked Valentina. No way. Now, in my opinion, that's bad refereeing. That's bad refereeing. Because I'm just of the opinion that separations and stand-ups shouldn't be a thing in MMA. Like, if Grasso can't get back up, that's her problem. This is martial arts. Why is the referee helping save her from a bad position? Like, what happens if the ref would have stood them up and then Grasso lands a big shot, gets a knockdown, and steals the round in a round that Valentina would have won easily had the ref not intervened? But fortunately, Valentina gets another takedown to put her stamp on the round. But that's bad refereeing, man. Bad refereeing. You can tell his judgment is off because of the shoes he's wearing for a start. You know what I mean? All the shoes in the world to wear and you pick them ones. Fuck me. And you're in front of millions of people, man. Alright. Sync up round 4 for me. So it's pretty clear 2 rounds to 1 for Valentina at the moment. Hey, babe. I'm almost done, babe. Alright, let's get this next one going. Kiko's made an appearance. There she is. Alright. Oh, Joe's making an appearance as well. In the background. She's hiding now. There she is. Alright. Let's get this next one going. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, so what we'll do, guys, we'll live stream the O'Malley and Devashvili research about the same time tomorrow. And in terms of how I see this fight from a betting point of view, do you know what, man? What's really funny about this thing, the game that we play, is people that don't put the work in we do judge the conclusions we come to when they haven't been on the journey of understanding why those conclusions were the correct conclusions to begin with. And the thing is, when it comes to sports betting, good bets don't always win, bad bets don't always lose. Like, if the most likely outcome always played out, then we'd all be millionaires, because it would be very easy by just doing research like this to predict who is more likely to win. You just bet them, you make money, it'd be easy, we'd all be millionaires. But the reason why we all love sports is because of how chaotic and unpredictable they are. So if you would have just taken a few hours out of your day to research Adesanya versus Duplessis, it would be quite obvious to everyone that if Izzy just fought to his full potential, he should win easily, right? But Duplessis found a way to win. We're kind of seeing the same thing happen here, where when you look at the footage, Grasso's takedown defense and ground game is so bad that how can you not favor Shevchenko? Because if Shevchenko just takes Grasso down, which she's showing she can pretty easily, Grasso for the most part just lies on her back doing absolutely nothing. So it's very, very, very difficult to lean towards Grasso in a matchup like this. And that doesn't mean we can't talk about potential improvements Grasso might have made, but it's very, very difficult to favour a fighter who will just lie on her back after being taken down and do absolutely nothing. And we've seen Grasso repeatedly do that over and over now in these two fights. So it's a tricky one, because your logical brain tells you Shevchenko's the right side to be on. But like we've said, your logical brain would have told you to be on Kamaru Usman to beat Leon Edwards in both those fights as well. And your logical brain would have been on Izzy to beat Duplessis. But so often in these rematches, the younger fighters, or, you know, the fighters who are on the come up, on the rise, they just find ways to win. Like, it's a trend that can't be ignored. But stylistically, it's a pretty good fight for Valentina. But with Grasso having a year of improving since the last fight, and to be fair, she did look better in the rematch compared to this one. She was a bit more scrambly. Her ground game was definitely a bit better in the rematch. And then there was 6 months between this fight and the rematch. So there's a year now between this fight this weekend and their last fight. It wouldn't take Grasso much to improve her ground game to the level where she could cause Shevchenko big problems. But it's just very tough to trust Shevchenko. Trust Grasso with how weak she is off her back. But then out of nowhere, she gets the submission. It's not even under the chin. Is it now? No. Just chokes her out across the face. Wow. And you know what? That wasn't even under the chin. But you know where we were saying Grasso just has that power in her hands? You kind of see it there as well. She squeezed and choked her out, and, you know, across the face, not even under the chin. So let me know what you think, guys, man. Let me know what you think as we wrap this one up. Let me know what you think, man. we'll wrap this stream up now. But I'm keen, if you've just watched those two fights, I'm keen to know what you think. What do you guys think? Because both girls are in the even money odds range, right? So we should be able to lean strong one way or the other. I'll tell you what I'm thinking and why I'm tempted to bet Grasso. I just think that it wouldn't take Grasso to improve very much to turn this into a situation where Shevchenko didn't really have a path to victory. Because if Grasso just showed a bit more urgency to work through bad positions on the ground, I think she would beat Shevchenko easily, because we've just seen that she's got the advantage when it comes to striking for sure. She's got the youth advantage. She's probably got the cardio advantage. And when you look at the difference between the two performances, Grasso did do a better job of working through bad positions on the ground in the second fight than the first fight, which does show improvement. And there was 6 months between those two fights. So now there's been 12 months between their last fight and this fight this weekend. If you extrapolate the rate of improvement between their first two fights and then kind of project improvement in Grasso between, their last fight and Saturday, Grasso could have easily improved to the point where Shevchenko will no longer be able to take her down and hold her down for very long. And if that's the case, Grasso should be able to outstrike Shevchenko pretty easily. And not only that, but Shevchenko's got those Grasso's got those sneaky back takes. Sneaky back take in round 4 to obviously get the submission win. And then a sneaky back take in round 5 of the rematch to basically nick round 5 and get a win. Or not get a win, but she should have won. That 10-8 scorecard robbed her. So yeah, Grasso, man, is very tempting. With situations like this though, right? I ask myself, do I want to bet like a dum-dum and gamble? Like, look, I say this, the only guys still listening now, you guys are obviously the smartest of the smart when it comes to betting on MMA, right? No one is watching a live stream on Fight Research unless you're like literally top tier cream of the crop MMA bettors, right? Everyone listening to this, everyone watching this is like at top of their game when it comes to MMA betting, right? So I'll say this. We do really well pre-fight betting on the UFC. We're actually outperforming a lot of people in this space when it comes to pre-fight betting on the UFC. But the way we do that is by being really selective and only placing bets in situations where we can overwhelmingly stack the odds in our favour. And because you don't get fights come along very often where you can overwhelmingly stack the odds in your favour where there's still value, we don't place many bets, right? We really don't place many bets. I think I've only placed 20 moneyline bets in the whole of 2024. How many is that on average per month? Yeah, so I've only placed 2.5 bets a month on UFC this year, which is not many bets, right? Most people will place multiple bets per card. I'm only placing on average 2.5 bets a month. And the reason why we do that is because we just try to avoid putting our money in a lot of danger. When it comes to fights like Grasso, Shevchenko, I feel like no matter who I bet, I'm going to be putting my money in a lot of danger, because if I bet on Grasso, I know I'm betting on a fighter who can easily be taken down and held down. But if I bet on Shevchenko, I know I'm betting on a fighter who, if her opponent just improves her urgency to work out of bad positions on the ground just a little bit, Shevchenko's kind of screwed. So if we were to bet on Grasso or Shevchenko this weekend, it would break my principle that has enabled us to make a profit almost every month over the last 2 years. And I find whenever I break my principles, the universe punishes me. I find that what can quite happen is Like at the moment, a lot of people on MMA Twitter are talking about how underdogs are getting crushed in the UFC at the moment, and how big favourites in the UFC are winning at a higher percentage this year in 2024, which has led to a lot of people in the space struggling because they're taking a lot of value bets on underdogs, and the underdogs are just getting crushed at a way higher percentage than usual. But I find that, like, obviously I've been doing this a long time. What I find is, as soon as you start adjusting your strategies and principles to the short term, it blows up in your face. And I've made this mistake many times. And what I mean by that is, when you look at like recent trends, right, of, you know, these older fighters coming into matchups against younger fighters, trying to get their belts back, you know, Usman versus Edwards, Izzy versus Duplessis. When you look at these types of situations, obviously the stats aren't good in favour of, you know, the old dominant champs trying to get their belts back, right? That can't be ignored. That's a strong trend. But say, for example, this wasn't a title fight, and these were two completely random fighters that we'd never heard of, and they were both making their debuts in the UFC. Say it was like Karen Grasso versus Victoria Shevchenko, right? These two random fighters we'd never seen before. Say I pulled up footage of these two girls, and they'd fought in some small regional show in South America for a title twice, and we just literally watched those two fights exactly how we've watched just then. The conclusion I would come to is, I'm going to bet Victoria Shevchenko, because this Grasso girl's got kind of lucky in these two fights. She was losing the first fight, hit a Hail Mary submission, and a flash knockdown in the second fight literally changed everything. Had she not scored the flash knockdown in the second fight and got the Hail Mary submission in the first fight, she'd be 0-2 against Victoria Shevchenko. So there's no way that I can bet Karen Grasso. It's stupid, right? But the thing is, all the noise can cloud our judgment, when now we're thinking about the whole, oh, well, you know, dominant champions always lose against younger, up-and-coming, hungrier fighters when they're trying to get their belt back, and Valentina's too old, and Grasso's got the dog in her, and Grasso finds ways to win. Do you know what I'm saying? It gets weird, man. It gets weird. Like, my logical brain would lean towards Shevchenko in a heartbeat, just based on what we saw in the footage. But all the other shit makes things complicated. So it's tricky, man. It's very, very tricky. But Kiko's getting bored of me talking. I think she wants to play. So I'm going to go now. And we'll come back tomorrow and do Dvalishvili versus O'Malley. I think in situations like this, boys, we perform really well on pre-fight betting. I'm rebuilding the website at the moment, and hopefully this week I'll have the results page built, because at the moment some of the other pages are under construction. So we'll get the results page rebuilt, because the site's been broke for so long. And get that chat right in the forefront of our minds, because in fights like this, where I'm tempted to like deviate from the strategy and break principles that we know keep us out of trouble, it's just very useful to stare at the chart to remind ourselves not to fucking deviate from the strategy that has worked so well for so long. And the strategy is fucking simple. The strategy is really, really simple, and anyone can do it. It's not a secret what I do. Literally, the strategy is, don't bet fighters with any major weaknesses that their opponent is well positioned to exploit. That's literally just the foundation of the strategy, and it's as simple as that. So basically, never, ever, 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 ever bet a fighter if they have a weakness their opponent is well positioned to exploit. That's literally just like the fundamental basis for the strategy, and it works so well. So for example, with a fight like this, you wouldn't bet Grasso because her takedown defense and ground game is bad, and Valentina is well positioned to exploit that. If you just don't put your money in spots like that, you'll find you'll do all right, man. So I should probably just pass on this one, I suppose. Grasso's tempting though. So anyway, boys, thanks a lot for watching. Take care, everybody. Nice one, P Brown, mate. Thanks a lot, mate. Nice one, Shackle. Nice one, Tez. Nice one, Hilts. Nice one, Joey, mate. Nice one, Gian. So yeah, we'll come back. Hopefully we'll be able to find a bet for the Vashvili or O'Malley. So nice one, boys. Take care, everyone. Love you all. I'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good one, boys. Bye.